What's up everyone, Ben with the BTC Sessions here, and this is your daily session.
Hodl that Bitcoin.
Before we dive in, couple quick things. Of course, check out my website, btcsessions.ca. That's where you can reach out to me directly, book your own BTC session. We can chat Bitcoin, wallets, proper security, whatever you like. All you need to do is scroll down to the bottom and there's a contact form for you there. Secondly, big shout out to the sponsors of the show, Ledn.io. This is where you can use your Bitcoin as collateral for a Canadian dollar or, in select international markets, US dollar loan. Really simple. Go to the site, use the slider to figure out how much Bitcoin would be required for a deposit in order to get that money. And the application takes a couple minutes. If you're successful, your bank account should be funded within 24 hours. Tried it myself, worked like a charm. So if you're looking to get your hands on dollars, but you would not like to sell your Bitcoin to do so, this could be an option for you. Furthermore, they've got a deal on right now where if you decide to use a loan using the link that I posted down below and you're successful, you'll get an additional $50 worth of Bitcoin credited to your account. So if you want to check those guys out, it helps the show immensely. And let's move on to the news. So first thing I want to touch on here is a story here about Tom Lee from Fundstrat Capital. He has 7 reasons why the Bitcoin price will smash record highs in 2020. So I'm going to go through the list and his reasoning, and then I'm going to give my hot take on it. So anyways, his 7 reasons. Number 1, the Bitcoin halving is coming. That is indeed happening next year. This is when the issuance of new coins gets cut in half. So right now, currently, every 10 minutes, roughly, 12.5 new Bitcoin are created and rewarded to miners. Well, next year, at some point early in the year, it's looking to, the ETA is around May 2020. That reward gets cut in half. 6.25 Bitcoins every 10 minutes. So that means there's a pinch. There is a little less Bitcoin available for the market, and over time that tends to have an effect, assuming that demand remains constant. Number 2, trading volumes are back near record highs. So, always positive. So let's see what he says here. Bitcoin transactions are reaching all-time highs again. Adoption in Venezuela and Turkey are also increasing volume. Number 3, Bitcoin smashes past its 200-day moving average. So the average price of Bitcoin over the past 200 days, it is now above that price. And it's been some time since it's been over the 200-day moving average. Number 4, Fundstrat's Bitcoin Misery Index turns positive. So they've put together an index relating to how miserable Bitcoin holders are. So obviously, if there's been an extended bear market, then that index would reflect that. And so I'm not going to go into the details of how the index works, but essentially, for the first time in quite a while, the index has turned to the positive rather than the negative. Number 5, 60 to 70% increase in Bitcoin over-the-counter trading. So according to the Fundstrat survey, institutional investors are pouring into Bitcoin through over-the-counter markets. So OTC activity is up 60 to 70%, which is a sure sign that big money is coming to crypto. So we've kind of seen this over time. People with a lot of money becoming privy to the value proposition of Bitcoin and starting to look for ways to fund that. It can be difficult through certain exchanges, so OTC tends to be a solution that they'll look for. Consensus, number 6, consensus that the bottom is in. So a handful of original Bitcoin bulls, people that have been around, have been stating that they think that the bottom is in, that the worst was hit in December of 2018 when it bottomed out around $3,100, and that we won't see any lower than that. And number 7, Bitcoin's golden cross. So this is an indicator that when the the 200 moving day and the 50-day moving average when the 50-day crosses above the 200-day. So when the average of the last 50 days, the average price of the last 50 days is higher than the average price of the last 200 days. So in a bear market, then typically the 50-day moving average is well below the 200. When you get into bull market territory, that's when that indicator switches. So yes, and that did happen not too long ago, April 23rd. So about a week back. So those are his reasons. Now, what do I think about this in regards to why will we see record highs in 2020? I don't think so. Not at all. Now, not that I'm saying I don't think price will be positive in 2020. I do. But I don't think we're going to be smashing that $20,000 record anytime soon. So in regards to the halving, absolutely a positive thing, but it takes a while for that to take effect. In fact, I think that halving is the majority of the reason for Bitcoin's price when you really zoom out and look at the overarching trends. I don't think that the news cycle does much other than just kind of short-term blips and volatility. But yeah, when that halving happens, all of the Bitcoin that is on the market still exists. It's just there's a little bit less new Bitcoin every 10 minutes. And it takes a while for that to really have much of an effect. So yeah, I think that we probably won't see those highs in 2020. Trading volumes back near record highs. Again, I think just continued adoption, people starting to jump back into Bitcoin, maybe that we're out of it for a year and a half or a couple of years, and new people being onboarded. That's always gradually happening, so I'm not surprised to see volumes continue to pick up. Yeah, smashing above the 200-day moving average. Again, I do think we're getting into that bullish territory. I just don't think it's going to move as quickly as Tom is assuming. Misery index, all of this, great increase of OTC, great. Bottom is in consensus. What do I think about that? Absolutely. I do think that the December low in 2018 was the bottom, that 3,100. I honestly doubt that we will ever see that price again. Again, I could be wrong, but I'm very doubtful we will ever tap that price again. And the Golden Cross, again, yeah, positive. I think that's a great thing. I think that's an indicator that we're not going to see new lows. In really, I don't think we'll ever see the 3,100 again, like I said. So I think that's an indicator of that. Now, when do I think we might touch those all-time highs again? Well, I think it takes about a year or so after the halving for that to happen. I think it takes a while. And the reason being is that the halving itself it has slightly pinch the market so that the market that's used to absorbing those 12.5 coins every 10 minutes that people are willing to buy up, well, there's a little bit less. And so as less are available, people might be willing to pay a little bit more. And so you see the price gradually eke up. And I think that's natural. But what happens is then the general public starts to see, oh, the price is gradually going up. And then when we start to get close to those all-time highs and maybe surpass them, that's when the manias start and people start FOMOing in and it becomes absolutely insane. So do I think we will hit new all-time highs eventually? Oh, yeah. Yeah. But do I think in 2020? No, I think it'll be generally positive. It'll be a great year, and getting towards the end of the year, we might be getting close to the all-time highs, but I don't think we'll see any new all-time highs or crazy manias well above them until 2021. If you want to see more on my guesstimates of what might happen, I made a video in early 2018, basically outlining how I saw it going forward, and I'll link that down below. So far, it's been pretty spot on, not perfect, but it's pretty much followed what I was expecting, and I really hope the second half of my prediction works out. So check out that video if you're interested. Let's move on. So ICE's Bakkt announces acquisition of digital asset custody company. What the hell does that mean? So ICE and Bakkt want to launch a Bitcoin ETF, and they want to have physically settled Bitcoin futures. So what that means is a future is people betting on the future price of Bitcoin. A lot of the futures products out there are typically settled in cash, but in this instance, it would be settled with actual physical delivery of Bitcoin. And by physical, I mean digital. But, Bitcoin is changing hands at the end of the day is kind of what I'm getting at here. So, a lot of the problem with getting an ETF launched, and an ETF is essentially you're able to, the long and the short of it is regular people through their trading accounts, TD Ameritrade, whatever the hell they're using, would be able to go on and just like they invest in stocks, would be able to invest in a vehicle which tracks the price of Bitcoin and actually settles real Bitcoin behind it, not just speculating on the price. And so that's the end goal here. And so what does it mean when they get acquisition of a digital asset custody company? Well, custody is a tricky thing. There's a lot of regulations, and basically it's very unsure how should you be holding the Bitcoin? What are the proper security practices to do such? And what even regulation should be in place there? And so that's been a big question mark when it comes to launching an ETF and having it safe for investors. I mean, I'm of the opinion that why the hell do you even need an ETF? Just hold your damn Bitcoin. But some people honestly just don't want to deal with it. And I mean, I guess that's fine. It's definitely not for me. But if you're going to have a product like that where you're trusting an entity to be holding that Bitcoin for you, well, I guess you're going to need to be able to trust the people that are holding it. And again, I wouldn't, but this is the way the world has worked for a while. People trust companies to be holding their gold ETFs, and we see how they've done a great job of that. Anyways, but essentially they need some regulations around that in order to legally do it. And a digital asset custody company that has been doing this kind of thing for a while, well, when they acquire them, then they can say, hey, look, we've got some industry experts that know how to deal with this kind of stuff. Maybe we're that much closer to being approved. Now, do I think this is going to drop anytime soon? No. Things are painfully slow when it comes to regulations with this kind of crap. I wouldn't be surprised if we were waiting another couple years on this. In fact, I would say that it would probably be hilarious if it dropped in the middle of another mania in 2021. I would almost be inclined to believe that's what's going to happen. But we'll see. That's just my guess. Let's move on to craziness. Nike. Nike has, what did they do? They got a patent. Yeah, and a patent and a trademark on something called Cryptokicks. I think this is so ridiculous just in the fact that Nike is even considering something called Cryptokicks, and I think it really goes to show that we haven't seen anything yet when it comes to manias. 2017 was a blip on the radar. The next time around, if Nike's having Cryptokicks, and I'm going to show you another story in a moment, I think the cryptomania will hit kind of like mainstream companies like we've never seen before, like this big companies like Nike saying, hey, we've got Cryptokicks. And so what is it? I mean, there's a lot of speculation in this article regarding what it could possibly be, but essentially there was a federal trademark. They must have bona fide intent to use the mark in connection with the goods and services that are listed with the application. Bona fide intent can mean anything from they are looking into it to they are well down the path of implementation. Now, Nike typically doesn't have a history of filings that are just speculative. Who basically they're saying that the document, that the content that was there essentially means that there's probably a cryptocurrency called Cryptokicks, or there's going to be something like that. Some people here are speculating that it could be like wearable tech that relates to some sort of a cryptocurrency that is rewarded for using the wearable, or perhaps some sort of like you have like location based GPS based hunts for various things. Maybe you have like a gamified version of, oh, you go for a run, you get rewarded with Cryptokicks digital currency. I don't really know. I don't think it's necessary. I think it's a tad ridiculous, and I think it's inevitable as well. So we'll see. And speaking of that, this one, equally ridiculous. Jaguar Land Rover plans to give drivers crypto in return for their data. So what are they doing here? Essentially, they've partnered with IOTA for some reason, and so this smart wallet technology is going to go ahead and let people relay data around, okay, well, where are they? How fast are they going? Is there an accident nearby? How slow is traffic? All that kind of stuff. It gets uploaded to IOTA's Tangle distributed ledger, and then they get rewarded with stuff that allows them to redeem it for coffee or pay tolls or pay parking fees or electric charging or whatever. Now, why is a blockchain necessary for this? Excellent question. I don't know. So here's one of the quotes from the software architect here. In the future, an autonomous car could drive itself into a charging station, recharge and pay, while its owner could choose to participate in the sharing economy, earning rewards for sharing useful data, such as warning other cars of traffic jams. So sure, but I mean, Tesla kind of already does this, right? Like the cars communicate with each other and let each other know of road conditions everywhere. You already have this kind of functionality with Google. I guess reward systems can be good, but there's really no need to introduce a blockchain here, because it's not an efficient data model, right? Like you could just have a data center. You're already trusting Jaguar Land Rover with your data. So why does it need to be on a blockchain? It just seems a tad ridiculous. It seems like completely pointless, other than it's just a shtick to get some hype around it. And I don't think in a few years we'll see this continue. I don't think it's a sustainable or even desirable thing to have. But hey, I think that'll go hand in hand with Cryptokicks. I think that's the path we're going down in the next couple of years, and then I think we're going to see a .com style decimation of crap like this. Anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap it there. If you want to support the show, again, you can hit up my website, hit up the sponsor Ledn.io to check out a Bitcoin-backed loan. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe, hit the like button, hit that bell notification icon, because I'm always in the live chat the first time this streams, and then I can chat you up there. And if you really liked what you saw, you can drop me a Bitcoin Lightning Network tip via my tippin.me page. Links for that down below, and if you don't know how to do it, I'll also link my tutorial video around tippin.me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow for your daily session.